We're listening to Margaret Kimberly of the Black Agenda Report. And so now I want to ask you about Tulsi Gabbard because Tulsi uh, hinted or told the senators that it was NATO expansion that caused uh, Russian the Russian invasion, and those senators almost lost their minds.
Well, I never trusted her, frankly. She had marketed herself as a peace candidate, former congresswoman, ran
Right.
for president herself in 2020. And she all the right, said all the right things about war and being opposed to wars. Then she did a 180, and then suddenly she was a big right winger.
Mhm.
And I know people who say she was hoping to be Trump's running mate, actually. But so Trump owed her, and he nominated her for this position, what is it?
You and I,
Yeah,
National Intelligence
department.
Department. Okay, thank you.
Director National Intelligence.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. So now she has a problem because she did things that were the right thing to do. When we were told the US had to destroy Syria, which it ended up doing with the coup recently, but anyway, she said, let's talk to President Assad. That was actually the right thing to do, the
Hmm.
sensible thing to do. But now she has to backtrack because Assad is out because of a US coup. Um, Edward Snowden, she had defended him, the whistleblower who ended up being stuck in Russia, who's still living in Russia, by the way. He blew the whistle when Obama was president, so it's been a while. But now she's backtracking. They're like, well, do you think and they kept asking her, is he a traitor? Do you think he's a traitor? It makes me sick that people don't know the meaning of the word treason. But anyway, she did not backtrack when she said he wasn't, but her nomination is, I don't know if it's in jeopardy or not. I think
Yeah.
if Trump wants to
it
keep her,
probably is.
they'll,
Democrats will vote her down if the Republicans don't.
yeah, they will. Um, but so she'll probably get it because everybody's scared of Trump. But this is what happened. I remember when she dropped out in 2020 because she sounded like the leftist, the peace candidate. And then she dropped out and said, I'm endorsing Joe Biden. And I knew then, I said, well, I was right not to trust Tulsi Gabbard, but we will see if her nomination goes forward or not.
Yeah. Well, while we're at it, Kash Patel, any any comments about that guy?
You know, the nominee to be FBI director, I have to tell you, as a leftist, I don't care who runs the FBI. People are upset. Trump's firing FBI agents. I don't care. I mean, the FBI, what did the FBI do? Surveilled Martin Luther King, wrote him a letter telling him to kill himself, murdered Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, the COINTEL program,
Yeah.
and let's not just make this past history, recent years, um, indicting,
Malcolm X.
I'm sorry?
Well, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, there probably had a role there too in his assassination. But just a couple of years ago, the Uhuru movement, they
Yep.
were raided. They were accused of being Russian agents. They were acquitted of the most serious charge. Although with this charge of conspiracy, they were found guilty of conspiracy. Well, if you thought they were innocent, what were they conspiring to do wasn't clear. The judge quite sensibly sentenced them to probation and community service. But that's something that happened just recently. That's what the FBI does. I don't care who runs the FBI. I don't care if this Hegseth character, I don't care that he runs the Pentagon. What is I don't care whoever runs the Pentagon, whether smart or dumb, qualified or not, have a long resume or they don't have one, the end result is war all over the world. And leftists need to stop allowing ourselves to get involved in these dumb arguments about whether Hegseth is qualified or not, when the problem is the war spending in this and war action carried out by this country. So Kash Patel, I don't care if he runs the FBI. And now it's kind of funny. Trump wants to get rid of anybody who had anything to do with investigating January 6th, and he has fired wholesale any FBI agents involved in that investigation. And apparently it's something like half of all the agents. It's 6,000 people. There's something like 13,000 total, which I find kind of funny. I don't care if the FBI is out of business. I don't feel like they make me feel safe. But so I don't care if Kash Patel is running the FBI. It doesn't matter to me at all.
They haven't said anything about the FBI agents who encouraged these January 6th.
Well, there's that too. You know, there's every group, every movement has to be aware of infiltration by the FBI. How many of them were within the Proud Boys or some other January 6th type group? I mean, that's something that'll probably never come out. But yeah, I don't care about Trump, who he appoints. It bothers me, though, that he is saying he has the right alone to determine the U.S. budget. That, Elon Musk says they'll cut it in half. Well, that means most of the services we rely on are not going to work. They're not going to work.
No.
But even worse than my prediction is the fact that Congress has abdicated its responsibility completely.